Well, hi, good morning, and thank you so much for joining my shop. Today, joining me in my shop. You're not joining my shop. Today is November 1st. Oh my gosh. And I'm going to be starting on this radio here. But first, we're going to do a little camera experiment. So I have purchased a new webcam. It's pretty much identical to the one I've been using. I have a couple in here. I have a Microsoft. I have quite a few. I have a lot of webcams in my search for a really good webcam. I bought this one. So this is the 922. Costs about double what the 290 cost. The 290. So 920 rather. 920. I get this all mixed up. You're looking through the 920. This is the camera I've been using for 6 months. We're going to do an experiment. I'm going to flip to this brand new camera. Now you watch close. I got it set up so it looks at. That's a cat. That's a kitten doing that. I've got it set up so it gets the same view. So I'll just flip back and forth quickly. That's one. That's the other. So this is the original camera, and here comes my brand new one right out of the box. Does it look any different? Okay, so the only way to do this is to go back and forth. So what you do is cite something detailed in the image there. I'm looking at the words here and the numbers here to try to see a difference. So right now we're on the new camera. New, old, new, old. Oh, I feel like I'm at the ophthalmologist. Optician, I think is what I really meant to say there. Well, can you tell? Is one of them particularly better than the other? Wow, I'm just looking all over the place here. If it is better, it is better by such a small amount, it doesn't even matter. No, I don't see any difference. I really don't. They seem to be identical. So there you go. I paid twice as much for this camera, the 922, than I would have for the 920, and they're identical. Maybe there's some other features in this camera that probably not of any interest to me. And let me just, which one am I looking through now? The 920. So let me take the new one off here. See there's a few of my other dead dogs there, and there's more around here and there. Hunt for the webcam. So I bought a large camera, a cheap one though, to try out, and I did that last week. Got it here, got it all set up to use it, and hoping for a real sharp image, which is what I'm looking for, because you watch this on a big screen TV, it's not as sharp as I would want anyway. And that camera, the last thing I read in the manual, the last sentence was, no autofocus, only focuses beyond 2 meters. I couldn't believe it. There's no autofocus in this camera, in that camera. Anyway, not to whine too much about my problems in getting good cameras here to use. Let's take a look at this radio now. Okay. Get my camera debris out of here. So we have a 2-band radio here, a broadcast band, and it does shortwave. It doesn't go terribly low. It starts at 9 megahertz, goes up to 15. So it encompasses a couple of good shortwave bands. It's kind of the daytime, evening bands. Oh, there's a note. Dry clean pots. Did my wife put that on there? No. Oh, see, like, don't put masking tape on these radios. So, do you think this is the original paint on here, or it's been repainted to look like this? It's the only radio I've ever seen with this kind of modeled look to it, so I'm going to guess somebody painted this. It's not bad, actually. It's got its tubes. This would be the antenna wire, this would be the antenna wire, and this would be the antenna wire. There's 3 wires sticking out here. This is a ground wire. This one disappears into the chassis, and so does this, so we don't know what's going on. And a couple of what would look like trimmer capacitors here. Remove this lug from under screw and attach antenna to lug. What? There's no lug. What's this tape here for? Good. I have no idea. Oh my gosh! I want to look at fine print. This thing. Oh my gosh! This has got the smallest print I've ever seen. I'm gonna flip cameras here, so we can just get a close look. How come this camera's not? Oh, this camera's not plugged in. Oh my gosh! I'm camera crazy here this morning, so apologize for these interruptions here. Oh, I'm gonna have to stop and yeah, I gotta stop for a minute here. Whoops. Okay, you can see my camera here looking at the fine print. What? Just look at this. Holy smokes. Just to give an idea of the size of the print, there's my finger. Oh, I've never seen. Are you serious? And what is it? I'm guessing it's all the patent numbers. There's some writing in there. You know what? I'm gonna get even closer here. Just bear with me. Maybe the autofocus will get right in there. Let's give it a try. No, it's not gonna do it. Oh, there it goes. Licensed under United States, blah blah blah. Radio broadcast, reception, sound, radio. Not imply any licensed under any patent, blah blah blah. Wow, I don't know, boy. Now that's the ultimate in fine print. Well, we got this little camera out. Let's take a look at a few other things. Yeah, remove this lug from under screw and attach antenna to lug. Remove this lug from under screw, but there's no screw. Where? What screw are they talking about? It's got a terminal strip here, and then these 3 wires sticking out. Already, the mysteries have begun. Already. Okay, we don't know what's going on. We don't know what's going on, but that's kind of how these things always start. We don't really know what's going on. Okay. So the note suggests that the owner of this radio, this is owned by a store which is going to sell it, and they've picked this from somewhere. Who knows where they found this? And you know, my job is to check it out and if I can, make it work and make it suitable for selling. There's not a lot of money involved in this at all. These radios sell for next to nothing. So so that's the story behind this. So there's a something going on with the plastic here, and I think it's on the back side. It almost looks like there's a plastic layer that's never been peeled away, but of course that's not the case. There's no plastic layer on here. It really feels like it. Feels like there's plastic on here. Okay, I won't poke around with that too much more. Just leave it for now. One of the primary things about any of these radios is the dial face, and to wreck it is to wreck the radio. Should we just plug it in and give it a go? I don't think so. The reason is we already have a note that already suggests somebody did that, and their comment was clean the controls. So let's take it out and have a look at it. So I'm taking out the lower screws and leaving it hanging from this upper one inside the cabinet. And that one, what I'll do is I'll just hang this over the edge of my bench here. Get the last one. Oops. Oh, this one's quite... Oh, I loosened it. I was going to say, hey, this screw is loose. Yeah, I get it. Pull the one remaining knob off. Might be original, might not. Just take a look for any surprises up in the top here that might catch as you're taking it out. There's nothing there. There's an edge here. I don't think it's a big deal. Come on out. This guy's got Lochtel tubes. Got some notes inside. Philco model 42322. To maintain original performance, always specify genuine Philco tubes. To remove the tubes, rock them gently in their sockets until the center locking pin is released. Yeah, there's a technique for pulling these Lochtel tubes out. Now at the bottom there, down here, it says, should, in big bold letters, your Philco ever require service, call a member of Radio Manufacturers Service. Guaranteed work, standard prices. Look for this emblem in your neighborhood. Okay, then over here is a factory sticker put on. It's got the serial. It says part number. Usually that holds the serial number. It's got a big H on it. Somebody signing off. This is probably somebody signing off on the cabinet. Don't know for sure. And nothing else in there worth looking at. Okay. Set that aside. Of course, this radio, the dial goes with the cabinet. Oh, now we can see more clearly what's going on with the dial. It's got holes. There's some of the oh, we can really see it this way. Just a couple holes there. Don't touch that. Don't touch that. No touching. That's definitely an example of a dial that if you went to brush it or anything at all on the backside there, you'd sweep the paint right off. In fact, just giving a good shock, probably shake a little bit off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tubes. These are not supposed to be loose like this. How come that's loose like that? This might be in a rubber mounting. Special rubber mounting. Doesn't look like it. So they're all Lochtel, but this is not Lochtel. It's riveted in, so it's original. There's an OK stamp there, so the radio was OK at one time. I think this is the rectifier tube. 35Z3. Yes, it's the rectifier. It doesn't have a lot of pins. A lot of rectifier tubes, they don't bother with putting pins in them. So that's probably why it's rocky. It just doesn't have as many pins holding it in. The rest of them are held in pretty good. Okay, probably inconsequential. Let's look at the speaker. Boom, 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 boom. Who put the holes in the speaker? Interesting. 4 holes punched like that. Like something hit it. A lot of dust here. The light bulb is missing. Who took the light bulb? That's actually a bit of an issue with these radios. They really want their light bulbs. They're going to operate without it. But they really like having their light bulbs in. That's just, there's the tuning. 4K, that feels nice. That goes nice. Okay. Let's look underneath. Let me tip it up this way. Hey, hey, hey. They're trying to. Oh my gosh! What is going on here? What is happening? You can see a big capacitor here with a coil wrapped around it, and a wire going to the terminal on the chassis. That's a Philco special capacitor, only this one is rated in the open, or somebody's done this. They've replaced the original with this. And kind of a technique they use to, as I understand it, and I may have it wrong, to boost, not so much boost the IF, but to prevent weakening the IF with this capacitor connection to the chassis. And I'm not explaining it because I'd have to read up again on it. Cord appears to be in good shape. All wax capacitors all the way through. I'm not inclined to turn this on. So there's two wires coming out of here. One of them's been cut away. That's a junk box part. This is a weird looking thing. What's it say on it? 4150. This is what's all this black stuff here? 150 volt capacitor. Oh, I thought she was going over. Okay, so I've seen it. Now I'm gonna go and drink coffee and think about what I want to do with this. Okay, lots of time went by because a kitten pinned me to the couch. So, despite the look of this, let's try turning this thing on and see what happens. Should I leave it up like this? Maybe I better leave it up like this just in case. So, you know, if there's fireworks, we get a good look at them. Look at the power cord. I think this has probably been replaced once. Okay, so I'm plugging it into a supply that has dim bulbs, a dim bulb arrangement. So I can control how much, or I can restrict how much power comes to the radio. So we're going to start with one little light bulb. This is going to drop probably enough voltage that the radio won't actually operate. Can't be sure of that. So we will turn it off. Make sure it's turned off. Okay. And here goes the power here. So this switch, if I flip it down, power is going through the lights to come here. And if I switch it up, then we're hooked directly into the Ontario power system. Here we go. Okay, nothing should happen because the radio is turned off. Nothing has happened. And I had not put the light bulb in it either. It's not the end of the world, but it's better to have it in there. So 118. 118. When I hit the switch I'm going to cut the power, turn this on. Oh, for crying out loud. Look at the situation here. If I step the wrong way, I'll be stepping on a cat. Okay. She was very disappointed when I took her off my lap, and it's a he. Both my new kittens are he's. Okay, no antenna connected. This is going through an isolation transformer. This is a 5-tube radio. There's no transformer. We don't know what's going on with the chassis yet. Seen one capacitor with this coil on it tied to a terminal here. I see another wire leaving the same terminal, two more wires leaving the same terminal. I don't know what's going on with how they've wired this radio yet. So there's a shock hazard with these 5-tube radios, greatly reduced if you use an isolation transformer, which I've done. Okay, any reason to delay longer? So chances are it's going to hum, but I don't know with these extra let's go. Here we go. Okay, so the light has come on. Looks different in the camera than my eye. I can see the filament when I look at the light. And it's going down, as it should. going down very slowly. You only have 60 volts on the radio, so it takes a long time for the heaters to heat up at 60 volts. They're slowly getting there. 60 volts is not enough. 70 now, not enough to operate the radio, I'm sure. Let's turn it up a bit. To get around 80, 90 volts in particular, it may start operating. We're not going to get there though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to screw in this other light bulb. That's going to raise the supply voltage almost to... here, don't play with that. Be careful, this cat is playing with everything it can find. So I'm going to turn down the supply voltage and put in this light. There we go. Supply voltage is now about 100 volts or so. Your hum. Okay, well that hum is not scary. It's not very loud. We hear nothing. We hear just the cat going wild with stuff I've dropped on the floor in my shop here. Okay, there's no antenna connected. Let me cut the power off. Well, we got quite a distance there. I'm going to put this back down. Look at the antenna situation here. I might have to get the schematic going already. So we've got one wire. It's definitely going to the chassis here. We have two more wires sticking out. We have a note over somewhere that talks about taking the wire out from under the screw. Would it be this screw? Would it be a screw in here? It'd be this wire with it, you know, a lug on it under a screw here. I'm guessing this is the antenna. So a lot of these radios are built for two kinds of antennas: a loop antenna, which is a balanced antenna, or a wire antenna hanging out in your backyard or something like that. They're very different styles of antennas, and they need to be connected to the radio differently for the radio to operate. That's probably why it's got three wires here, and that's about all I can say about that. Let's look underneath and just see where this one wire is going if we can. So the great big coil here, almost certainly this wire is going right into the coil. I think I can see it back there. Hard to say where it's going. Maybe if I put some more light on it, I could see something that might help. So there's an interesting thing in there. There's a number of interesting things under here. Let's take a look with the other more closer up camera here. Some pretty interesting stuff going on in this radio. Okay, so I've got the autofocus going. Well, let's see how far we can get like this. So what I see right away looking at this is this coil here, this thing. And I'm going to have to stop this focus because this is going to just drive us endlessly nuts. So just bear with me a moment while I gain control over this camera. So I'm just bringing up the dialog box here. I'll turn off the automatic. We'll leave it focused just like it is now. Okay, let's look again. As soon as I get my foot off the camera wire here. So this is something unusual here. Or is it just a coil? Looks like it might just be a coil. It's kind of shoved in there in a funny place. It's kind of right angles to this one here, this waxed one. There's a really heavily waxed coil. And then the wire coming in the back here is this thing here, which comes in right there. Now, it's a little dark. Let me put more light on it here. So what you can see there is a, right in the middle of the screen there, is a wire wrapped around a wire. Now that's no mistake. That's a form of capacitor, probably 3 picofarads, I don't know. That's often referred to as a gimmick in a radio. And exactly why it's there, we don't know. We'd have to look at the schematic. And sometimes these things aren't even apparent on the schematic. They may be shown as a regular capacitor, but in fact, so you see something like that, you might think, well, that's kind of crazy, I'll just get rid of that. You can replace that with a small capacitor if you want. What is the cat doing down there? All that scraping sound is a cat digging around all my parts here. I guess while we have the camera, we'll take a close look for anything that's burned open. Well, we already have this thing operating and nothing really bad happened. There's a lot of dirt on that. That's the band switch there. That's a lot of dirt on. Here's another coil all waxed up. All waxed up, no place to go. And here's the special coil with the wire wrapped around it. Special coil, special capacitor. And one end is going where? Not that way. Wait a minute. I thought this was going to a big lug on the yeah, it's going here. What am I? Right here. Right here. So basically it's a capacitor. Come out this end, come back through this coil, and then up to the chassis. And this is where there's other wires connected to the chassis here. Oh, I see. So this one's going to the center. It's hard to see which one. Center of the aloctal tube socket. So it's just picking up other chassis-ish. Chassis-ish. There's a word. All the chassis, I can't say it. All the things that are kind of like the chassis are tied together here. Use the red wire. What are you doing using a red wire on that? That's not the best. That's not good form. Anyway, that's what that is. So probably both these are heading off to pick up stuff like that. Chassis-like stuff. Okay, down here. We didn't really finish looking. Down here, lots of wax capacitors. Lots of them. This is the back. This is the on-off switch here, and back of the volume control. Well, anyway, doesn't look like anything's burned up. What's this? What's this here? It's wired to nowhere. That's a little odd. Could that be another kind of gimmick? I've never seen this. Just a wire going nowhere, laid up against a chassis. You know, that may be the result of a part replacement, and somebody didn't clean up the situation. Look at the condition of this wire. This wire is coming to this old junk box, what I think is a junk box capacitor. And look at the wires. This was old when whoever put it in here. See, this one's much got like a neoprene or some other kind of rubber. Hasn't deteriorated at all. Well, that was a little bit of a hum in the radio. Okay, well, why am I even looking at it? I can't remember now why I did this. Why did I do this? Ooh, that looks a little odd, doesn't it? Not exactly what you expect to come out of a factory. And where are those going? Oh, that's the power cord. Okay, so that somebody has replaced the power cord. And that's the evidence. Kind of a sloppy solder job. Is that any good? Seems to be. Okay, Well, nothing I've seen here says don't operate the radio, but this mystery wire here is kind of weird. I'm gonna tuck it back in there. I don't know what it would be. Very odd. I think this capacitor looks newer than this one. Kinda, but that's not strong enough evidence there. I don't know. Don't know what that wire is. Mysterious things. Is it coming right off of? It's a ground, like it's a B minus line going somewhere. Is there another end to it? Did somebody cut it and leave the other end hanging? Why would somebody cut it? Something to do with these capacitors. Maybe it's an old capacitor lead. British made. Ooh. Well, isn't that special? Hunts. Yikes. Okay, enough poking around there. I wanted to sort. Oh, I know what it was. I wanted to sort out the antenna. Yeah. So the antenna wire is the wire I believe it to be. Yeah. Yeah. I think I got it figured out. So we're gonna put an antenna on it and try it again. See if we can make it work. Okay. I'm afraid I'm suffering many distractions from two little kittens here, but so what I'm gonna do, I have an outdoor antenna connected at the end of this. Get through here. And I'm going to hook it up to the radio, but first I'm going to check for voltage on the radio. Why? Only because I'm a scaredy cat. There's no reason to think there'd be any voltage between the... I'm going to hook the lead up between the chassis and the antenna wire here. This wire and this one. Where's this one going? I never did sort out where this wire's going. Don't worry about it. We'll go chassis and antenna, and then we'll see what we hear. Okay, so if I'm going to turn this on, the volume turned down. Okay, I'll pick this up, put that over there. There we go. Yeah, that's with the dim bulbs in the circuit. I don't know if you saw them glow briefly there, but they did. So I'm going to leave the bulbs in. I'm going to jack the voltage up to compensate for the bulb drop, so we get something reasonable on the radio, like 110 or so. Okay, that's about 110. We're not hearing a thing. Yes, we are. We're hearing some things. I don't think this radio is going to work, by the way, but we're going to give it a go. Oh my gosh, what's going on? What are you looking for? You're looking for trouble, aren't you? Look at this guy. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Where can I go? What can I see? Hey, what's over here? Can I get up on that bench? Can I get up here? No, he can't come up here yet. He and his brother, they're a little over 9 weeks old. Okay, so I'm going to look for voltage here. We hear this? I can hear a little tiny click there. So watching the voltmeter, yeah, I'm going to put my finger on it. So we're looking at what? So I have this on the AC setting. There's nothing there. Couple volts. Oh my gosh. So she's seen my voltmeter leads. Now she's all he's all excited about it. Can you hear him? Okay, so I'm gonna hook up the antenna here. Oh my gosh, look at the guy. There must be something here I can chew. Right? Okay, yeah. Go find your brother. What's he up to? Who knows what he's up to? Okay, you know, it doesn't take much to distract me, and boy oh boy, those cats are really good at it. So we're going to hook up the antenna. Okay, first we're going to put the ground on, see what happens. You can hear it. Now we're going to put the antenna on. Cannot hear that. Not the best sign. We hope to hear some crackling and stuff. Well, yeah, like I said, I don't think this radio works. Volume up. Oh, that sounds like a radio. Oh. There we are. Okay, let's close the capacitor. Whoops. What happened there? Switches are dirty. Volume's up full. That's not a good sign. Tuning the middle one here. Okay, so a short distance to close the capacitor. This is probably 590 we're listening to. It should be a longer distance. So, can't be sure though. We need to have a look at the dial. The dial's not there. So the kind of hum we've got here is not power supply hum. This is the kind of hum you get when you've got a grid that's freer than it should be. I don't know that's the best way to put it. A grid circuit that's at a high impedance. And so it becomes more like an antenna. So this guy's name is Wally. We've named them after our other cat, Peanut, who passed away a while ago. Peanut is a type of nut, so we thought of other nuts. So we've got Bert for Filbert, which is a type of nut, and Wally for walnut. But we're not going to call them the nut names. Look at that guy. He's worn out already. Hey, the day's just getting going. Meanwhile, our other cat, Shadow, the black adult cat, is about 10 years old now. She is not impressed by these two guys. Not at all. So, okay. So a lot of you have mentioned over the years that you love looking at the cats. So that's why I'm letting you have a chance. What do we do about this radio now? Well, it works, but barely. That's good. That kind of proves all the circuitry is there and operating. It's probably weak because of these old capacitors that are throughout it. I'm going to turn the power off here before I stick my finger in there. So I think this is your basic start at one end, change out the capacitors, and I can probably follow a moderately interesting approach to doing that. And in the end, we'll probably have a nicely working radio. It's got a short wave band on it too, which we didn't bother checking. So that's very good. And that's how I'm going to end the video today. Tomorrow we'll get a little more serious at changing out some stuff and get rid of these junky capacitors. Put some little guys in. And then start working on some of the other capacitors and that. So thanks a lot for watching. Hope you're getting a kick out of not only the radio but the kitty cats. Yes. What are you going to do? What are you going to do today? What? What's your plan? What is the plan? What's this? That's the plan. The plan is to play. What is that? Okay, enough of that. Thanks again for watching and keeping me company while I'm working here. And thanks for clicking the like button. I very much appreciate that. See ya.